How do you build a seamless pan? Today I'm going to show you how to build a pan like this that's known as a secondary drain pan or an auxiliary drain pan. I'm going to show you what tools I use and give you a step-by-step guide so that if you're installing HVAC equipment or maybe a water heater and you need a pan like this to go underneath it, you know how to do it. You're watching HVAC Tips for Technicians. I'm Tad. This is Taddy Digest. Let's go. Before we start, we got to know what tools we're using. These are the tools. Hand snips, tin snips or hand shears, a non-adjustable scribe, adjustable scribe, a marker, a tape measure, and a pair of tongs. First step of building a seamless pan is we have to have the right piece of metal. If we're building a pan for a furnace and coil or air handler that's laying horizontally above a ceiling in the attic, we may need to use from the metal table here. These are 4x8 sheets, and this is 26 gauge galvanized metal. I'm going to do a smaller pan, just an example today, so you know how to build a pan. But typically, if we're building a long pan that's 5 foot long by 3 foot wide, this is what I'd be choosing from. So today, we just need a good example. So I'm just going to get a piece of scrap metal here and measure it and see what we can do. Looks like it's 22 inches by about 22 inches. So I'm going to build a 15 inch by 15 inch pan. And what's great about having a steamless pan is you have a pan that can catch water. This is like your secondary drain pan, because you got your first pan in your coil, but having a secondary pan for your unit to set in where you can have a float switch will save you from having a catastrophe where you don't have anything to catch that water and it just goes through your ceiling and it just ruins your home. So, all right, we're gonna build a 15 by 15 inch pan, keep it simple. Now, what we got to do is we've got to add to our measurement, right? We can't just cut this out at 15 by 15 and expect to have a lip and to have it hemmed so it's not sharp. We have to add that in. So what do we want our lip to be? We got to choose what we want our lip. Normally we do 2 inches. So I'm going to add 2 inches to the 15. So that's going to make it 17. Then I'm going to add a 1/2 inch. So it's going to be 17 and a half. Now, since we're doing a lip on each side and a hem on each side, then we need to double that. So if this is going to be 15, we're going to add 2.5 inches to each side. That's 5 inches total. So we're going to say our measurement needs to be, instead of 15, it needs to be 20 inches by 20 inches. That'll give us a 2-inch lip on each side. We can hem it, put a 1/2 inch hem on each side. That way it's not sharp, okay? So the first thing we got to have is we got to have tape measure and a marker. All right, so we're going to start with one side. We're going to make this simple. You can mark both sides if you want. We're going to mark one side. So we're going to mark this 20 inches. Oh, go down here, 20 inches. Now, if you don't have a stomp shear, another way for you to cut this is to use a pair of shears. All right, and you could mark it like this. Grab another piece of metal, and then you can cut it like this. I've got a stomp shear. I'm not going to use the hand shears, so I just bring it over here. And you don't have to mark it all the way across, just mark it on each side and then slide it up, and then you get it to where the mark lines up with the shear on each side. So, looks like that is lined up right there. All right, now take it, put your foot down and stomp it. There we go. Now, I could have went ahead and marked the other. That way I could just turn the piece, I could have marked the other side so I could turn the piece around and just, you know, do another stomp and boom. But just to make it to where you see everything, we're just going to break it down this way. So real quick before we move forward, what do we got? 20 inches by 20 inches. That's what we want. Now we got to have the other side the same. So 20 inches, boop, by 20 inches. All right, so again, You can mark it all the way down. You can cut it with these hand shears if you want. Super simple. I'll go ahead and do that for this cut. Of course, it's much easier to use the stomp shear, but that was easy too. All right, now, just to make sure we have the right measurement, 20 inch by 20 inch, it's right. Now what do? We use this tool. This is a sheet metal scriber, a scribe tool. What are we using this for? We're gonna mark 1/2 inch. All right, so we're gonna use this side here. We're gonna just take it, go all the way down. Make sure you get both sides. Whoop. Oh, slipping off, gotta hold the piece of metal. All right. What is this for? This is so that we can notch the corners, because we're going to have to bend at this bend line here with the brake, and we can't bend it without the notch, right? You can use a hand notch or you can use snips. I'm going to show you that. And taking and marking this 1/2 inch line gives us a bend line. So if you've got a bend line when you're using your brake, it makes your bend, it makes it to where you have a guide, and then all the way across you're bending at 1/2 inch. So just take your scribe, and we're basically scribing every corner and every side. So now if you look at this, you see where the two lines meet? We got this little box, all right? Now what I do is I take my snips and I cut that at a little bit of an angle, just where it meets where the two corners meet. See that? Look at that. I'm gonna do the same thing. Well, that's a little bit off, just made a little bit of a mistake there. So I'm gonna recut it. That way it looks the same as the other two cuts. All right. Now, if we measure from one of the bend lines all the way across to the other bend line, that is 1 inch less, right? So that means that it should be 17 inches. So if we go from this bend line here all the way over to this one, let me see, hold on. I'm sorry, not 17 inches because it's 20. It should be 19 inches. So yeah, 19 inches. Because the sheet of metal is 20. We subtract 1 inch. It's 19, so we know we're on the right track. Now, let's hem this. Now, to hem it, you take it, you put it in the brake, you slide it up to where the brake is going to land on that line. And we've actually got a line right here. Now, bring this down, and it looks like, yeah, we're not lined up. So push it in a little bit, get it lined up. There we go. Now, come up, bend it, bring the handle up, take this piece, push it back in, bring this down, and we've got a nice hem. See that? Because this is not sharp now. This is sharp. We're going to do the same thing. We're just going to go all the way around. So there we go, got it lined up. Once you get the hang of it, you'll know exactly where your bend line is, and you won't have a problem. Slide it in. I like to do it twice. All right. Make sure. You may have to adjust it. You know, pull your piece of metal out to line up that bend line. I mean, it's better to take your time. Sometimes I get in a hurry. That's when I make mistakes. That's when I say the wrong things. And we just need to take our time. All right. Line up the bend line. And the hem, I mean, if you're off a little on the hem, it's okay. You know? Maybe a 1/16 of an inch, but I like for everything to look nice. Now, look at that. Perfectly hemmed, not sharp. Now, what's next is we got to mark the 2 inches, right? And if we measure from here to here, we've got exactly 19. So if we take 4 inches away from 19, what is that? That's 15. So that means we need to take and mark 2 inches in all the way around this. Now we're going to use another tool. Now we're going to make our mark 2 inches in on each side of this piece of metal with our adjustable scribe. So we're going to take this adjustable scribe. You can see where there are numbers, 1 inch, 2 inch. I'm going to bring it in to where it's 2 inch. And then I'm going to tighten this knob so this stays. And then we're just simply going to come over here to each side of this pan. We're going to make a mark. Make a mark. Make a mark. Mark a make. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so now we've got it marked. Now, if we truly want to see if we've done a good job measuring and cutting, we want to see if this is 15 inches, right? So we go to the 2 inch mark on one side. We go to the 2 inch mark on the other side. And what's it say? 15 inches, yeah, yeah, yeah. All right, 15, 15. Now, life is but a dream. Let's go to the break. Now, don't make the mistake of bending it like this so that your hems are on the outside and this is the, you don't want to do that. So you bring it to the break, you slide it in, and what you can do is you can choose to bend this side first, this side first. Really, it's all up to you, but one thing that matters is leaving 2 of the sides at like a 45-degree angle, and I'll show you what I mean here in a second. So I'm going to bend this side first. I'm going to go ahead and bend it up, but I'm going to pull it back down to about a 45. And I will show you why. Go to the 2 inch mark. Make sure you do a good job with the adjustable scribe so you can see that bend line. I'll bend it up about 45 degrees. Now you're probably thinking right now, well, why is he not bending it up 90 degrees? You're going to see why in just a second, okay? You are going to see why. And it's really because how are you going to get it in here? Going to be kind of hard. Almost there. There's our line. Oh, we're not on the line. Push it up. Yep, that's pretty good. Now this one, 90 degree. The last two, always 90 degree. We will know why here in a second. All right, there's our bend line. 90 degree for these two. Beautiful. This is what it should look like. Look at that beauty. All right, we got two sides that are almost flat, two sides that are 90 degree, but you can see where we've made the bend. Why did we do this? This is going to make it easier for the next step. Now this is the step where if you don't have some practice, then you might end up ruining the good looking pan that you've almost created, right? And what we're going to use is a pair of hand tongs, right? This is a tool used to bend. So what do? We take our hand tongs, and I like to put it right here on the corner, all right, like this. And then you want to make sure that it lines up with this corner. All right, we'll put it back on there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to bend this corner in like this. All right, like that. And then we grab this piece, and then you can take your tongs, you put it right here, and you can pull these together. I'm going to go ahead and move to this side right here. Do the same exact thing. All right. And then you can come over here and grab this, right? And then grab the whole thing, or you can just do this. Use your hands. Look at that. That's what makes it seamless. And look at that. Not too bad. That looks pretty good. I like that. All right, so you can grab it and looks pretty good. Now let's do the other side. Do this side first. Okay, make sure you're lined up. All right, looks pretty good. Now, this side. Wow, look at that. Look at that. Look at that. And then you can go right here and push it down with your hand if you want. Look at that. Man, I have ruined these just by not being lined up correctly. But this is the step where, yeah, I would definitely start practicing. Dude, that looks great. Let me know in the comments what you think. Now, true tests, measure it. And of course, I need to bend this part up, but you can see it's 15 inches. So yeah, this really needs to be bent in, but yeah, 15 inches. Nice. Now I'm going to show you how to add a fitting by drilling a hole into the pan in case you need a drain on your secondary pan. Now I'm going to show you how to add this 3/4 male adapter, this PVC adapter, to the drain pan. If you're installing a water heater and you need a seamless pan for that water heater, you may want to add one of these fittings. Or if you need your secondary pan to drain, then you may need to install this. So what are we going to do? First, we need to mark where we're going to put our hole, of course. Once we've done that, I'm going to use a stepper bit in my drill, and I am just going to take and drill a hole right here. All right, we got the hole cut, and it should fit. It does fit. Now what do we need to do? We need to get a lock nut. It's also good to have some type of gasket, some type of rubber washer, so we could use this. So this will be on this side. We'll put the fitting right there through the hole, and then use that threaded side and that lock nut to lock it in place, and then make that connection, around that connection, watertight. So there it is, super simple. Now you can go to the plumbing store, local electrical supply warehouse, and You can actually get the washer and lock nut you need and not be like me and take it from a 3/4 seal tight connection. But this is how you make a pan. This is how you make a seamless pan that looks good for your heating and cooling needs, for your water heating needs. Hope you enjoyed today's video. I hope you learned more about building a seamless pan. Maybe you're confident enough, you know what tools and the process so you can do this and save your homeowners for having a catastrophe where they have water damaging their home. If you want more videos like this, go check out my playlist, HVAC Tips for Technicians. I've got hundreds of videos of live experience in the field as a technician to help you be a better technician. If you like this video, hit the like button, subscribe, smash that bell, ding, so you know what I'm doing. You got questions? Remember, questions can lead to new content, so put your questions down below. But if you don't have a question, that's okay. Let me know who you are and let me know where you're from. You've been watching HVAC Tips for Technicians. This was Taddy Digest. I'm Tad, and I'll keep you cool if you let me.